want to check the mic first. Am I good? Get the sound right? This is not comedy hour, I promise. The funny thing is, I used to go to this school, and my class used to sit like in this area here. Yeah, O2. Who's an O2er? Kendra, come here! Kendra, come up. Kendra AG, everybody. Come give me a hug. I don't know how long has it been? 2 decades? Come up here. I'm gonna let you after.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna find you. How about that? Reunion. Okay, so it's just a little surreal. I haven't been in this room since 1999, 2000 maybe. So I'm 31. I just turned 31 on January 30th. How about that? Ooh, thank you. And when I was approached to do this TED Talk, I was immediately like, why? And then it was kind of like put in perspective for me. And I'm not really one to do speeches. I'm really weird, as you can imagine, as though I do the performing and I'm on stage doing this and this is my job. It's different to stand up in front of people like this when there's this light and speak and you know, express yourself in this way. But I told myself, okay, how am I gonna be able to do this? Let me just talk about my life. That's something I know better than anyone else. And I feel like coming from Cleveland, coming from Shaker, you know, such a diverse place, and just looking in the audience from the people I can see, it's still very diverse. But I believe that my upbringing in this town, this school district, is what made me the man I am today. And when I moved away, when I was 20 years old, my mom was extremely sad. Where's my mom at? Yeah, she was crying. Hey, mommy. My first big fan was my mom. And it was really interesting. I remember leaving home, and she's giving me a hug at the airport, and she leans in, she goes, now I can always turn back around and we can go right back home. You can change your mind and everything will be fine. I'm like, no, I'm going, this is happening. And you know, walking to security and then looking back and just seeing her like, oh, and me just being like, oh. However, as soon as I turned back around, I knew I was on a mission, on a very specific quest, you know? It was bigger than just wanting to be a musician or do movies. It was about finally showing the world what Scott could do.
Kid Cudi, government name Scott Muscady. Born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. Growing up in Cleveland was pretty cool. I had 3 older siblings, 2 older brothers and an older sister. I was mischievous. I was always a goofball. I liked to make my mom smile, like that was my thing. Always loved to just bring like a laugh into the crib. That was my role as the youngest sibling, I guess. My father died when I was 11. It took it really hard. I think that's where my life kind of immediately took a right turn, and I put myself in more of a shell. My confidence just went to an all-time low, and growing up from a boy to a man is not easy, you know, without a father figure there. And 11 is that age where you want, you know, your father around, and you want to ask him about sex and girls and stuff like that. But these are things that I just had to learn on my own. When I was young, I was really interested in like drawing. I was just really good at it, like without trying. It was my first real natural talent. Music kind of came in later on. When I was 15, that's when I stopped wanting to be a cartoonist, and what I initially started doing was like freestyle battles and little stuff like that. I really just was inspired by the storytelling aspect of hip-hop. It's the fact that like each artist could tell their own story, how they saw fit. A lot of my other homies rapped, and I was like, man, they're good, but there's nothing really there. Like, I feel like I'm repping for people that are like me. I wanted to express myself, subconsciously, not even knowing that my father's death had anything to do with it. It was hard for me to go out and talk about those things because I wasn't necessarily confident with my music at that point in time. My raps were very like dumbed down. After I grew up and got older and more wiser, that's when my content started, like without me knowing, my content started changing. and becoming more and more serious and more about like my struggles and what I go through. Moved to New York when I was 20, October 7th, 2004 was the exact date. Moving to New York, I wanted to just soak up everything I possibly could about this culture and just grow into a man, you know, and just see something, experience something other than what I was used to. There's so many options. It's like, man, anything can happen. I spoke to my uncle on the phone, and he was telling me he was asking me, like, where you gonna live at? And I was like, oh, you know, I haven't figured it out yet. I've been looking, you know, at some newspapers and trying to figure it out and try to find something for cheap, like a room or something. He's like, well, you know, stay with me for a little bit till you get on your feet. And I was like, word.
You're nominated for a Grammy, and I wanted to say you have a connection to this gentleman right here. Could you hold this record? This is a gift for it. Yes. Open it up. What do we have, Kid Cudi?
I don't know. Let's see. Vinyl?
And who's playing drums on this record? Watermelon Man.
Oh, that's my uncle.
And that's a gift.
Yes.
What can you tell the people right here, Kid Cudi, about Mongo Santa Maria, Watermelon Man, and your uncle?
Well, my uncle, who just passed away around the time when I was writing Day and Night, he was a really famous jazz musician, but he played the drums, and he was so humble that he didn't want to be in the spotlight. He did a lot of work. I mean, I'm talking about the Rat Pack. He was cool with those people. And
do you have his records?
I have some of his old vinyl from when he passed on. We went to his apartment.
Because I have another gift for you right here. Check this out. Do you have this record here, Kid Cudi? Your uncle, Khalil.
Yes. Yeah. Bang. That's fam right there. He changed. It should say Mescudi. He changed his name earlier when he was younger, when he converted to Islam. So Khalil Mahdi is what he chose to use, but it should say Bernard Mescudi. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's all good. Same difference.
And can you check right there? Look where he's from. It's really neat. This is your uncle. Where did he move from? If you read there, Khalil.
Clevelander. All day. You're not telling me nothing new.
But I want to tell the people about all this stuff.
You tell me about my family, and I know my family.
And there he is. I thought it's so neat. Like, there he is right there playing. I think it's really cool that there he is playing drums.
That's him. That's my uncle. I only had like $500, and I remember like walking out and then looking up at the buildings and just being like, this is where it begins, you know, the journey. Like something told me, just like, now it's about to start. It's grind time, man. Prime time, grind time. But you know, all we're gonna do is get our people up out this bitch, man. We're gonna get up out, man. We're gonna get one of the mansions on the hills and shit. It's real, nigga. Real much action. Anything, man. That's what you gotta do. I came all the way out here, man, from Cleveland, Ohio, man, just to do this shit right. You know what I'm saying? This grind to pay off, as y'all seen today. You know what I'm saying? Just got done meeting with some execs, nigga. Now we back in the hood. Go to the studio, brew up some more crack. We're right back on our job. Right back on the job. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we signing off. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna head to the hut, brew up some more of that crack. But, you know, like I said, I just made this video to let y'all know that this shit is real. Ask about me, Midwest accent. Sipping from.
But my point is also, like, music was my plan G. You know, it wasn't like I didn't try everything else. Like, I tried everything else. I tried everything that I thought, you know, was a traditional thing a young boy should do. Sports, you know, and even going to college was me just trying to fulfill a destiny, what I thought was my own destiny. But then also I wanted to make my mom happy.
So let's go back a little bit here. You decided a while back, really, to make the move to go to New York and kind of work on the music there and everything. I mean, was there any other reason besides that? You just want to get out of here and just, you know, see what else is out there in the world, or do you feel like New York is the better place to launch your music career?
Well, that, and I just felt like I needed a new change of scenery. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, like here, I was very, very like lost, so to speak. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was just working dead-end jobs, and you know, I wasn't happy in my life. You know, in the direction I was. I didn't live the traditional lifestyle. I didn't go to college. Well, I went to college, but I didn't graduate.
Right.
You know what I mean? School wasn't for me. I didn't really want to pursue school. I just really did it for my mom.
Right.
And, I just kind of, got to
Was
the
she
point.
nagging at you? Oh, I gotta
No, not even really, but it's just like, man, I wanted to do it for her because I just got into so much crap before. It was like to finally be able to attend college. It was just like, man, I just need to do it. It means a lot for her, and it'd be cool. And I did a year, but it was just so stressful, and I wasn't happy. So I was like, man, I just got to that point. I was like, man, I need to start doing things for me.
My whole thing is, when I was a kid, I was immediately looked at as someone who wasn't gonna amount to shit. So it's just like started from the bottom. That's the bottom. When motherfuckers look at you as a human being and be like, oh, he's not gonna amount to anything.
By the way,
that's what teachers, that's what your peers, that's what certain people in the neighborhood may think of you. Because of whatever reason, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Off just being in a certain environment. So you already have that against you, right? And then you don't want to conform. You don't want to be a statistic. And that's kind of like what my thing was. I just didn't want to be another nigga out here lost and shit.
And do you
know what I'm saying? Like, and that was what I made that choice at that time. And I knew that me making that choice would help other people see that they can make the choice. Because I was also inspired by, some people that were in my space that weren't falling into the other shit. It might have been like one of my homies that was like, in the sports and got good grades and played sports and wasn't caught up in some shit. And I was like, man, this dude got some goals here. I might not be in the sports, but this dude right here has some type of goal because he don't want to turn up like this because we got that option too. Right. So it's like, it was just a lot of things I was able to just and I was the youngest of 4. So, I was able to just kind of be young and look at my older siblings and kind of learn what not to do. And that's kind of why I use that whole I'm your big brother phrase in my music, because I feel like, even with the mistakes I've made, that's what a big brother is supposed to do. Like, I'm supposed to make some mistakes so you can learn, and then those kids will learn, and then they'll make their own mistakes, and then there'll be a bunch of other kids that'll learn. It's like a system. And I kind of I like that I'm that person. I like to take that whole big brother thing to that, to the full extent into the music. But I really believe that I had the odds against me in such a way, and I also just felt like everybody thought I was a loser from day one. I was tired of feeling like that. I was tired of people looking at me in that way, and I wanted to finally find whatever it was that was my calling to prove that, because I tried everything else.
And I needed a new start. And New York wasn't so far away from home. Only an hour plane ride.
Oh yeah.
If I had to come back home, it was cool.
Right.
It made sense. I didn't really start writing any raps for a while. I didn't write any raps for at least 8 months when I was there. I didn't do anything musical because I was just trying to figure out how I was going to eat.
Really, first thing I did when I went to New York, and most people think it was kind of like this amazing adventure. It wasn't. It was pretty much finding a job. And for the first couple years, I was working everywhere. Whether it was at this clothing store here, or Abercrombie & Fitch, or American Apparel, or Dean and DeLuca. I always had a job. I was a hustler.
Job hunting. My uncle just kept asking me if I found a crib. He didn't necessarily say, hey, get out. He came to a point where he kept asking me, you gonna find something, blah, 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 blah. My homeboy Ronell, he was like, yo, man, you can just crash here. Stay here. I slept on the floor for a long time. I think that was about 10 months I lived there. I lived there for a while. That was really, really tough because I had lost my job at Abercrombie. And then I was struggling to find a new job. I had nothing.
What was your best hustle back in the day?
Man, my best hustle was working at every retail job I could find.
Really?
Yeah, I used to work everywhere, American Apparel. And then I went to an interview at Abercrombie & Fitch that they did every Monday and Wednesday and Friday. And I think they still do this if anybody needs a job. And they do group interviews. You just come and bring your
abs?
Yeah, bring your abs of steel.
Yeah.
And they give you flip-flops. And I didn't have any abs then.
Right.
So it was really dope that I got the job. I remember being really excited.
I made $9 an hour.
Wow.
That was the first. I was like, oh, I'm caking off. That's dope. I can actually get like a value meal from McDonald's.
Wow.
And not just get a McChicken. So did that for about a year. Then I worked at Dean and DeLuca. And then,
I love Dean and DeLuca.
Yeah, but this place sucked.
Oh.
The place that I worked at, oh man, it was the worst job. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to diss the establishment of Dean and DeLuca, but this store specifically was just run, just not how it was supposed to be run, and it was just the worst experience. Like, I hated it, man. I was so happy. I don't even think they gave me my last check, man.
Really?
I actually know they didn't. They didn't, because they were so mad that I quit on them. I just didn't show up because the guy was just such a the manager.
Right.
Such a jerk, bro. He's probably so mad right now.
But isn't it great to look back and just be like, you know what? F all you guys.
Yeah, it really is, because I actually went back to that store.
Really?
And bought some M&Ms.
Nice.
From the same section that I worked at.
Everything comes full circle.
Yeah, man.
So we're in Princeton Broadway, in front of the Dean and DeLuca store. Kid Cudi used to work at Dean and DeLuca. He had his chef's outfit on and everything. He went in. They weren't letting him do the interview. So we just been going around with this interview renegade style.
I couldn't focus at any job because I didn't come to New York to work a 9 to 5. I came to New York to do what I'm doing now. So like I took my jobs not so seriously.
So shout out punk ass Staten Island boat and fucking the bus, man. That bus got me fired from 2 jobs, man. The S40 bus. Niggas in Staten Island know about that bus. Come down Richmond Terrace. That shit sometimes never come or it always come late. That shit's got me fucked up, yo. That's real talk.
Yeah,
It was like all about studio at night and getting off of work and going to the studio and raging.
And they keep it to 2 a.m. here sometimes.
Oh yeah.
They keep you late.
Yeah. So I
You'd be
mean,
rolling to the studio at like 3 in the morning.
man, I definitely had those late shifts. I didn't have much money, so I was too busy. Like the money I made here was just rent.
Yeah.
So after I got done paying rent and trying to get prepaid minutes for my phone, like I didn't have no money. So I would just like go to McDonald's, get like McChickens off the dollar menu. That was my lunch.
Tell us about working here.
Oh man, I used to work in stock, and I would just fold clothes all day. This is where I eventually met one of my homeboys who introduced me with Dr. Genius, who produced Day and Night. And now look. #1 record on the Billboard charts.
Do your thing.
All that stuff was what inspired my music. I think 2006 is when I came up with the melody for Day and Night. It was really simple. If you heard it, you wouldn't have thought nothing of it. But in my brain, I heard it a different way, you know? So like on my phone, it was more like... Like it was really simple. And then I didn't have anything but day and night. I toss and turn, I keep stressing my mind. And that was the hook, actually, at first. You know, that's all I had. So I was into 2006, and early 2007 was when I presented the idea to Dot, and he just took that and made it into a masterpiece.
Day and night, I toss and turn. I am here with Kid Cudi, and I cannot get that song out of my head. I absolutely love it. You're up for Breakthrough Artist of the Year. How does that feel?
I feel grand, you know, it's really overwhelming. I'm really just happy to be, you know, recognized for my work because I put a lot into it, man. This album is like 2 or 3 years in the making, you know?
And it is hot. I know everyone is singing that song in the grocery store, in the mall. I hear it everywhere. But also your other songs too, as well, are so catchy and great.
Thank you.
And I know that we have some Facebook fans with questions for you. So let's cut over to Brandy and Randy. What's the question?
What's up?
Facebook fans love your song Day and Night. So Elliot from San Francisco wants to know what inspired it.
Well, I was at work doing security. I was in this security booth, and it was freezing cold. And I just started to analyze my life at that moment in time. I had a moment to just reflect, and just the lyrics and the melody kind of came to me immediately. Just that moment right then and there, you know, I just was inspired to write this song with this melody, and it came very quickly, you know, and I gave it to my homeboy Dr. Genius, and he put it together. Shout out Dr. Genius and Brooklyn, what up? And yeah.
Love it.
Bang,
From
bang.
Day and Night, we're going to come right back, but from Day and Night to the American Music Awards.
All right, so when did you work at Babe Store?
Last June for about 8 months.
I was so broke when I got to the Babe Store that the first 2 weeks, it was just kind of like I wore the same outfit every day until I got that check.
so I was able to get another outfit. And
That's awesome.
you know, it was really gnarly, and I was borrowing clothes from my coworkers. And in the photo, I'm borrowing a hoodie vest.
Cool.
From my manager at the time, Danny, who was really cool, man. And all those guys, they knew I was doing my thing. And I think there was another manager in there that was hating on me, like, no, he trying to work here. Is he trying to get up, like make a come up in music, you know? And then like Danny was like, man, this dude don't even have no bank account. Like that was the thing. Like I had to use my mom's, like, cause you know they only did direct deposit. I had to use my mom's bank account.
That's so cool, man.
You know, it was like.
This whole story is amazing. To me, like the stories that are boring are the ones where it's like you're born with everything, you got everything was easy, all you did was one thing and then it just worked.
Nah, yeah, it was
it's to me the more like, you know, they say blessings come from more than just prayers or good deeds. It also comes from patience and long suffering. And for the longest time I never understood how long suffering, how a blessing comes from that.
Yeah.
But the long suffering provides time for you to think and realize and recognize things.
Yeah.
And when you look over your shoulder, it just decorates your story in such a way where when you do triumph, you realize you needed the long suffering in order to have a victory.
Oh yeah.
You know, so when I hear your story about like borrowing clothes, like that's amazing. And some people are listening to this going, what? I want to borrow nothing. But you know what? When you hit
a shit, I was like, yo, yeah, hell yeah.
When you hit that threshold of like, oh, like your life has changed forever.
Yeah.
You look back on the days that you struggle and you appreciate the struggle so much more.
Yeah.
Because you realize it was building character.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. I couldn't also believe I was working at the fucking Babe store. So,
yeah.
I mean, that was like the job you wanted in New York. And I mean, I applied at that place for years.
So. Yeah, I would think that's a tough job to get. How did you get it?
Yeah.
Man, just shit. I just one day for the 4th time dropped off my resume. I had worked at some places in between the second and the 4th time. And
who hired you? Was it Zuki?
Zook, yep.
Yeah.
And Zook still to this day.
Shout out to Zuki.
Good man. Shout out to Zook.
And
it means so much to me that they hired me. Cause I ain't had shit at that time, and that dude was really, there was a guy there that was really trying to monkey wrench me, and Zook was like in a position to say yes or no, and he said yes. So Zook, I appreciate you, man, cause like that meant a lot to me.
What made you quit?
I had the opportunity to go on tour to Australia for 3 weeks, and I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna go do this tour, man. Like, you know, this doesn't come around all the time. Like, people don't just get offers to tour a country like that on the opposite side of the world. Of course, I couldn't take off for 3 weeks. So.
And I had to quit that job. That was like really hurtful. Like to quit the job that I always wanted, but I had the opportunity to tour Australia. Like we had the Crookers remix was popping overseas. Like I was like, man, I have to chase this, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I ain't never been nowhere. We just flew like, you know, to Cleveland, but like, dog, we have opportunity to go and promote our music. And if I don't take this, you know, I'm going to always be like, man, what the fuck? What did we come here for? I love the Babe store, but I didn't come here to work at the Babe store, right? So here we are making that choice to quit the job of my dreams. And like, it was amazing to come back and do shirts with Zook.
But when I came back from Australia, I was maybe back for 2 days before we got the call that Kanye wanted me to go out to Hawaii to work on 808s.
To make a long story short, we did that tour. I came back. It was like 2 days. I was like, man, I ain't got no job. Well, what the fuck we gonna do now, you know? And Plain Pat calls me up and he's like, yo, so Kanye wants you to come to Hawaii. I met Kanye like any other person as a fan, you know what I mean? And at Virgin Music Store, and I was looking at CDs that I couldn't buy, and and he was standing right next to me, looking at CDs
that he could buy.
And then that he could buy, and he had this exact chain on, and I remember seeing it, and like out of the corner of my eye it was like gleaming, and I was like, and I saw him, and I was like, oh my god, and I was like. You know, I had just moved to New York. I'm from Cleveland.
How many years
we don't
ago
see
was
celebrities unless it's like concert.
How long ago was this?
2004.
Okay.
So it's right after the Grammys. I think he still had the graffiti in his head. Remember he did the ill lines in his head. So I remember that, seeing that, And I remember me just going like, how you doing? My name is Cudi. Well, actually, I said my name was Scott because I wasn't Kid Cudi yet. So I was like, I'm Scott, man. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, man. I'm from the and I remember him being like, hold on 1 second. Hey, man, I'm going to call you right back. And him being like, yeah, so what's up? Like getting off his phone. And I was just like, I'm from Cleveland and I do music and I really want to be signed. Can you sign me? Like I had no pitch. Like I was just this kid. It was like, could you just sign me? And he was like, man, I got so many artists right now, man, that I'm trying to deal with right now. He's like, and unless you want some Biggie and Tupac type stuff or whatever. And I was like, nah. I'm not that good, but I have the potential for greatness. And I remember saying that. And he was just like, oh, man, well, I just got so much going on, though, man. I was like, man, well, you definitely gonna see me again, man. He was like, what you say your name was again? I was like, Scott, but my rap name is Kid Cudi, you know? So be checking for me.
You know, I got into some modeling here and there, a little bit of acting. Then I got myself an agent, and he knew that I was involved with the rap and shit, so I can curse, right?
You can say whatever you want, man.
Cool. Well, he knew I was in the rapping, and he plugged me up with this audition, and I went to it. It was some producers looking for artists to work with. It was like 370-something kids there.
Wow.
And out of all those kids, I was the only one they picked, and I was working with the producers for about a year. And we did label meetings at every major label. We put together a demo, and I had a meeting at Def Jam with Plain Pat, and shortly after that, Pat left Def Jam, and I left the situation I was in with the producers. Cause I ran into Pat at a party a couple months after that, and he told me that he had been rocking with my CD ever since the meeting. Like he had kept it in his car ever since. And I was like, word. So then like we kind of got cool. Like it wasn't like business right away. Like that was a homie. You know what I'm saying? We was kicking it a little bit. You know what I mean? Going out. And just hanging out, you know what I mean? We ended up becoming like homies, you know, and then it was like, I came up with the idea for the mixtape, and he was working on Kanye stuff at the time, so he finished Kanye's mixtape, and they finished Graduation, so it was like he was ready to work, and it's a grind, you know what I mean? It was just me playing Pat with this great record that me and my homie Dr. Genius made, and we got so many follow-ups, so we felt confident with just rolling with Day and Night, because we got bigger records. That's what this mixtape, like I said, was designed for, like to let motherfuckers know, like this is not a joke. I'm not playing anymore, and I'm here to stay, and I'm going to change music.
So you went out there, you put the mixtape out, and Kanye West got his attention, right?
Yeah, but
what was that like?
Well, Ye always knew about some of my music because my manager Plain Pat is his A&R.
Okay.
So like Pat would play him stuff from time to time, you know. But like it wasn't to the mixtape where like Ye really took notice and reached out and asked us to work on Blueprint 3. And then it went from working on Blueprint 3 to working on 808's Heartbreak.
Very nice.
Wow.
I fucking landed over there. Because I was just like, damn, we just flew over this motherfucker. Anyway, I was always wondering what it was like down there. So now you go and see. And then I'm talking about walking into the studio. I already met him in passing, but this was like the actual, like, up close and personal. Yo, what's up? Welcome, man. Hey, you ready? I'm like, yeah. All right, I got some beats I'm going to give you on the jump drive. I was smoking Newports at the time, so I go out on the patio. I'm sitting out there just like, so fucking nervous. I got my laptop set up. He comes out with the jump drive. He's like, just have fun. I'm like, all right. I start vibing. It's like 8 of the most wonderful beats. I think like 7 of them we used on that album. I think they all got used. And first, beat I listened to, I'm like, all right, this shit is dope as fuck, of course. It's Kanye West, all right, yeah. What the fuck am I gonna do? This is like, like, and this is not like, this is like, hey man, we're working on Blueprint 3. We want you to write hooks. And that is the song, essentially. Go.
Wow.
No deal, really. We were kind of still figuring it out, but no deal. And I think I was like, kind of vibing for about 5-10 minutes. He comes back. He's like, so what you got? And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, oh, man, I got like one idea. I don't know if it's any good. But he's like, oh, just tell me, what is it? And I was just like, okay. He's like, oh, you want me to fall from the top? Do you want me to drop? Do you want me to stop? You want me to go? All right, go and move and lay it down right now. Are you sure? Do you like this? Yeah, come on. Wow. All right, you got another one? Oh, man, I I had one I was starting after I finished that one, but I don't know it's any good. Oh, just go in there and land. What is it? You know? Okay. Cooking up in the kitchen, young boy had that vision, had to get with it. Ooh, 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 ooh. Cooking up in the kitchen, young boy had that vision, had to get with it. Something like that. Because we was like, oh, it's for Jay, you know, let's talk about that dope boy shit. Let's talk about that. Let's make a theme for the dope boy in the kitchen. So I was like, man, cooking up in the kitchen, you know, it just hit me. And niggas was going crazy. You just see people in the glass. It's like, ah, and I'm just like, oh, okay, they like it. all right, two. But here's the thing, and this is where these young kids get fucked up right now, because they take a picture with Kanye and be like, I made it. I had them 2 in the bag, and they are the songs that we know today. I was still never satisfied. I was like, fuck that. I still can do better. High five, yeah, cool. What's the third one you want?
Right.
No time for celebration. Okay, anxiety's out. Let's make 10 more.
But, you know, man, there were a lot of haters. There were a lot of doubters. There were a lot of people that were telling me, man, you ain't gonna do that. That's not gonna happen. He'll be back. I remember telling my buddies, I'm moving to New York. All right, you'll be back. Nah, I'm not coming back. And if I do come back, it's for a concert, you know? And everybody be like, all right, whatever. But when I came back, it was for a concert. It was for a concert, and it was the most beautiful homecoming I've ever had. There's no show more important than this show. And I'm not just saying that because it was like in Cleveland, and it's like my hometown. It was the first time I saw my peers, friends I went to school with, being proud of me.
What's up, it's your girl Beach. You starting? I'm standing right here with Cleveland's own, the Kid Cudi. What's good?
Hey, what's up? How you
So
doing?
you here doing this is a meet and greet in your hometown. Is this the first one that you've done here?
Yeah. This is my first time back since the Kid Cudi thing.
So it's gotta feel like great to be home. I know it does.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, just like seeing everybody come out and support and show mad love is overwhelming, because I don't know, man, when I first got started, I thought Cleveland would be the last place to like understand and embrace what I was doing, and now it's like, you know, everybody's like on it. You know what I mean? That makes me happy, makes me proud, you know what I'm saying? And I'm repping a city that's 110% behind me, you know? And I feel like there was a lot of good stuff on there that people didn't listen to. And they kind of just like, oh, it's a CD with some Sharpie on it. Put it to the side, never gave it a chance. So now that I'm popping, I'm still making CDs like this with no like artwork on it. And I think that it has that type of like subliminal, like, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, like, you know what I'm saying? My mixtape is on here, and y'all are all here, and y'all know me because of my mixtape, you know what I'm saying? So it really doesn't matter about the appearance, you know, when I was coming up, a lot of people kind of looked at me funny style or whatever, but, you know, I ended up doing it, so now I'm here, you know, we ain't getting popping. So that's why these CDs look all blank and like whack and generic, because yeah, it doesn't matter about the appearance, it's about what's on the CD. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm all about. So I'm gonna sign these one by one, and you guys can come get it, and we do it like that. I only have a limited amount. You literally went to
You started back up.
That's how I want it to be. I'll let y'all.
Now let's know a little something about what you got going with Kanye, because I know you're making big moves on the national, international scene.
Yeah,
What's going on with
man.
that?
Big homie Kanye just, you know, got me signed to good music now.
Okay, good music.
I got the feature on the album. I co-wrote several songs on 808 and Heartbreak, 4 songs I did on there. It's just an amazing experience right now to be even like in the midst of good company like that. Like, I just really want to bring Cleveland back into that light, to show people that there's talent here, show people that there's good people here, you know what I mean, and also bring a new sound of music and a message that I think people need to hear now, you know what I mean? I tried many things before I realized that music was my calling. You know what I'm saying?
How did you know the music was calling?
Well, everything else didn't work.
He was like, damn, this stuff, damn.
College, nope. The Navy, nope. Working a 9 to 5, nope.
You went to the Navy, dude?
Man, I tried to go, and I went through all the tests, and then they denied me because they said my police record was too lengthy. But it only showed like a couple misdemeanors. I never got any felonies. It was like all the time frame where I got in trouble was like from 15 to like 19, and then there's like a dramatic stop all of a sudden. Because that's when I.
Hey, look, but I stopped here though.
Yeah, when I grew up and realized that I was being ignorant.
Is there any rhymes that you shout out faith in your lyrics?
All the time.
Right?
Before I had faith, before I could afford it, I used to shout it out all the time because like I knew one day I would be able to afford it.
You got a recording going on?
I got you.
This is Kid Cudi with London, representing London
Oh, that's
for
love.
real.
Aww.
And she's a big fan. What's your favorite song?
Pillow Talk.
Pillow Talk is a song I made in 2006.
Oh, you lying. Are you serious?
I was piss poor broke. I didn't even own any bathing aid when I made that song. To be honest, yeah. So,
that shit is hot.
Yeah. So thank you for being a fan for a song I wrote when nobody was listening to me. Shit, it's for your blog.